How's Aaron Boone been around this team so far? What does it look like around him, John?
Well, he's a really nice guy. I've been friends with Booney for a long time, and I mention this because he's such an open guy. Every time ESPN would do a Yankee game, and they did a lot of them, and well, he would come into the booth to schmooze with Susan and myself, and I think that I think he'll be tough when he has to. But I think he's a very good choice by the Yankees. Now, one thing, you can be the nicest guy or the best guy or the smartest guy. It doesn't matter if you don't have players. And, the Yankee team is absolutely loaded. And I guess the only thing that could go wrong would be starting pitching. Their bullpen's great, and they have a terrific lineup. So, Cleveland and Boston and Houston are all terrific teams, so it figures to be a very good year.
So when it all comes down to it, though, John, everyone thinks you just roll the baseballs out and this team's just going to start hitting like crazy, and it won't really matter what the starting pitching looks like. Certainly with the back end, all you got to do is just have a lead by the sixth inning. Tell me where I'm wrong on that front. Why some people might be wrong about that.
No, you're very right. That's the way to look at it. But, nothing is quite that simple. One thing when people make these predictions, Rich, which is the fun part of our business, everyone makes them, but it's so silly. First of all, Houston won the championship last year, and they got Justin Verlander, who won them the championship on the final day. It went down to the last few minutes when he finally agreed to go to Houston. Now, who's going to go somewhere this year? Secondly, you're going to have injuries, and the question is how many get hurt, who will get hurt, and how long they're out. So everyone can predict, but doesn't really mean anything until you see the games played.
Well, look, what a great 30th season for you to be calling. I mean, it's all stacked.
I've been looking forward to this so much. And, last year, Rich, one thing happened. I just mentioned it on the air during whatever. We've done 4 straight exhibition games. The 6 home games the Yankees played, 1 against Minnesota, 2 against Cleveland, and 3 against Houston. Obviously, they're sold out. I mean, that's New York. The crowd was just as good as it was in the old stadium. They say, well, the new stadium's too big. It was the 6 games were thrilling. The Yankees won all 6, and they scored a lot of runs. So that's another reason to look forward to this. In New York, the expectations are through the roof.
I bet.
So there's an old line by Buck Showalter. The fans don't come to see the Yankees play. They come to see them win. And so the expectations are very high. And I think it's going to be a great season. Yankees in Boston. What a great rivalry. And then the other good teams in the league, Houston and Cleveland, and there are many more. But
well, sure. We're out here in Los Angeles. Your former booth mate before Susan Waldman, Charlie Starn, has been calling Dodger games. The fans out here for the World Series, it was insane out here, too. You got the Dodgers. You have the Giants out here on the left coast that have gone ahead, got Longoria, got McCutchen, and it's an every other years thing for them, and it's their every other year for them. I'm probably missing a couple other ones. There's always Bryce Harper in Washington, the team across
and the Cubs. No, the Cubs. They're a bunch of good teams.
It's fun. It's fun, John.
One thing, though, in the old days, you could predict a team is going to win the World Series. But nowadays, you have to go through 3 playoff series. It's just not that easy. And the first one is a 5-game series. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't win, if you're the wild card, you have a 1-game thing, which is really scary. So, but it'll play out, and we'll see what happens. But, wouldn't that be a great World Series, Yankees and Dodgers?
Well, I know there's 28 other teams that will raise their hands and say something else, but I hear you, John. It would be just like the mid-'70s all over again.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.